The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today giving you a Theory Thursday, and this Theory Thursday is on none other than Volcarona. Volcarona was suggested by Dragon of Hoenn, which I absolutely love his comment, because number one, Volcarona is a great subject for Theory Thursday, and plus I love his question of, can the blazing bug deity of Gen 5 still maintain a position in OU? Find out next time. Well, it is now next time, and well, let's just talk about my opinion on Volcarona. I think Volcarona will remain in the OU tier this gen. Now, like always, I do have my facts to back up this theory, so let's check out its stats. Now, the first point I would like to talk about with Volcarona is that it does have decent stats. It has an amazing base 135 special attack, a pretty decent 105 special defense, and a pretty average base 100 speed stat. Now, looking at its HP, it's pretty decent at base 85, but in regards to attack, you're probably not going to use that measly base 60 attack stat, and unfortunately it has a pretty crippling base 65 defense stat, so it's not going to take physical hits too well even with investment, although it will be able to take them more nicely, especially if you want to be a bulky sweeper. Now, Volcarona has what I call an adequate move pool, because it's not amazing, but it certainly works, because it is one of the most well-known bugs to actually effectively use Quiver Dance, especially with its stats being more specially oriented. It only makes them even stronger than before. But of course, its physical defense is still rather lackluster, and there's very little you can do about that. But one of Volcarona's most popular movesets would be Quiver Dance, Fiery Dance, or Fire Blast, Bug Buzz, and then Roost. There is also the replacement of Roost with Giga Drain, because it's also a form of recovery / coverage move, but most Volcaronas seem to run Quiver Dance, Roost, Bug Buzz, and Fire Blast nowadays, because Fire Blast is more hard hitting, much faster, although Fiery Dance is a very nice move, having a 50% chance to increase your special attack one stage every time you use it. Now, Volcarona has a decent dual stab, but in regards to coverage, it just isn't suitable for everything in the OU tier, because it, number one, isn't able to deal with its hugest weakness, which we'll talk about more later, but being rock types. Sure, it can hit it with a Bug Buzz, but it's not going to be super strong, and unless you carry the rarely seen Giga Drain, you're not going to deal super effective damage to them. Volcarona also struggles with facing fire types, especially physical fire types, because number one, Volcarona can't boost its physical defense, and number two, even if you carry Giga Drain, you're not going to have anything in its move pool that is going to deal even neutral damage to a fire type. So unless you carry HP Rock or HP Ground, which are even more rare than Giga Drain nowadays, you're not going to have a fun time dealing with any of these fire types. Still, Volcarona's access to Quiver Dance is definitely its reasoning of staying in OU, as it can set up and sweep relatively fast, being the best bug to actually be able to abuse Quiver Dance. Now, in 5th generation, Volcarona was debatably uber material, but this gen there has been nothing mentioned of it. New Pokemon very similar to Volcarona in 5th gen include Charizard and Pinsir, both almost uber material except for one huge weakness, and that would be Stealth Rocks, and just having a quad rock weakness in general. No matter how much bulk investment you carry on your Volcarona, you are not going to be comfortable taking any kind of rock hit. Now, something unique to Volcarona and its pre-evolution Larvesta is that their type combination is the only kind that is quad weak to rocks without being part flying. This basically means that Volcarona and Larvesta are the most hazard weak Pokemon in the entire game, since they are also grounded, so they will take damage from toxic spikes and even sticky web. So in this scenario that your opponent has Stealth Rocks, 3 layers of spikes, and 1 layer of toxic spikes up in a hailstorm or sandstorm, and you switch them in before the end of the turn, you will only live with 6% health. By now it may seem like I'm just talking about all the negative qualities of Volcarona, but it still is a very powerful threat, especially when abusing Quiver Dance. But if you are modest max special attack and use a Fiery Dance on a max HP Aegislash, you're actually only going to have a solid 2-hit KO on it. If you do carry Fire Blast, you have about a 1/3 of a chance to take out the Aegislash. Now to be fair, Volcarona probably can beat Aegislash one-on-one since it can carry Quiver Dance, but Aegislash still has some pretty tremendous bulk, but Volcarona should be able to handle it pretty well, which is why it should remain OU. So in conclusion, despite Volcarona having a pretty huge hazard weakness as well as being very weak to any kind of rock move in general, it does have a pretty nice move pool that does work with its stats, and it should remain an OU threat. Volcarona can abuse Quiver Dance, and it should be feared because of that. So with that said, guys, please suggest more theories for next week, and thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.